All right, you guys, welcome back to Office of the Day. Today we have another very special guest, and we met a couple years ago back when I started at a company I will not reference. Grateful to have you here. Grateful for your time. Grateful to be in your space. Thank you for allowing me your space. Go ahead and introduce yourself because nobody could do it better than you.
Hey guys, it's Hanna Sint, and I'm here with Mark Anthony, and thank you for having me on the show today.
Yeah, so we have a big-time model, big-time photographer, and just big-time creator in general. And she's been in the creative space for, I'd say, quite a bit now.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit. How long now?
2019.
2019.
That's when I really popped off.
Wow. Yeah, and if you guys check her out, we'll leave all of her information down below, but she does have a unique style to her too. Can you tell me a little bit about what drove you to get into modeling, specifically with the different realms that you've been going into?
Yeah, so modeling happened for me as an accident. It was an accident that I got into modeling, right? I started off as a photographer. And in college, I was in a photography class, and my friend, he took a photography class right after me. And so I was helping him with his projects and stuff. It was portrait season, and he was like, "Can you help model for me?" And so he also got his best friend to model too, and we were modeling together. And then we became friends, and then we fell off a little bit. Okay. And I remember this so clearly. It was 2019. It was my birthday, and everybody was wishing me happy birthday. You know, I was getting all kinds of texts, but from that friend who I fell off with, he just texted me, "Hey, I gave your number to my photographer," and that was it.
So that's how you started?
Yeah, I gave my number to my photographer, and he's looking for a female model. Okay. And that was it. Like, no happy birthday, no other text explaining what it is, no nothing. And, you know, at the moment, I got very upset because I was like, how dare you exploit me? You know, like without even asking, without even wishing me happy birthday. And that night, his photographer texted me, and it was actually really a really professional text. It was like a whole paragraph listing his website, listing his Instagram so I could look at it, we were doing a sunglasses ad shoot, so listing what kind of sunglasses we would be filming for or shooting for, you know. And so it all looked professional. So this was my first photo shoot ever, I guess. So I was down, and he was like, "Okay, meet me on Sunday at this place." It was around Chinese New Year time, so we went to this place with the Chinese New Year parade, and he was like, "Let's shoot around there." And I was like, "Okay, like pretty cool, right?" I meet him, and he meets me. We hit it off, and he was waiting and looking at his watch and looking at his phone. And I was like, "Are we going to start shooting, or like, what are we waiting for?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm waiting for 4 more people." And I was like, "People?" He was like, 4 more photographers. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that it was going to be like this whole production, you know?" And he was like, "Oh no, like they're just people who wanted to join me, and we're all in this group called Art of Shy." And it's like this whole photography community that I had no idea about. And the other 4 people showed up. We started shooting. We were actually in an alley, and we started shooting, and it was me with 5 people around me just shooting me with their cameras, and they were just like, "You do your thing." And I started doing my thing, and they were like complimenting me, and they were like, "You're a natural, like, have you done this before?" And I was like, "No, actually, this is very weird for me."
This is your
actually
first time?
very weird for me. Yeah. It was such a great first experience, you know? And then that's not even the craziest part. So the parade starts, the Chinese New Year parade with the dancing lions, right? And people have the little costumes on and stuff. And then the whole parade starts. And my photographer that I was initially meeting up with, he was like, okay, come on, let's go. Like, let's go shoot. And he gives me these sunglasses that I'm repping and stuff. And takes me to the front of the parade. So I'm in front of the whole parade. There's the dancing lions behind me. The photographer is in front of me and he's walking backwards shooting me, and everybody is in the streets cheering and watching, and they're just like, who is this girl? Because it looks like I'm leading the parade, right? And I'm just strutting and doing my thing. And it was so, like, I was so nervous. But at the same time, I was like, I cannot F this up.
Right.
I need to get my shit together and I need to really, like, focus. And so I just blocked out everyone. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing this. I look good. I'm confident. Like, whatever. And he wants me to do this. Like, he messaged me for a reason, you know, like he likes my look and blah, blah. And so I was telling myself all of this in my head. And then we got out of the parade so that it could finish. And then the parade finally finished. And at the end, the kids wanted to take pictures with the lions and they were posing, and families were taking pictures with the lions, like one by one, like group by group, right? And then all of a sudden my photographer stops everyone. He's like, okay, everyone, it's our turn. And I was like, oh my goodness, like this is happening again. And so he stops everyone from taking pictures. He takes the lions, like directs them to pose in a certain spot. He puts me in front of the lions, and then all my 5 photographers were in front of me, and then all the people and the crowds were behind my photographers, and they were all surrounding us. So there were people taking pictures of my photographers taking pictures of me in front of the lions.
Wow, that's so cool.
Everyone was just taking pictures of me, like, look at this girl, like, who is this girl? And I'm like, dude, I'm nobody. Like, I just started, this is my first, like, outside modeling experience, you know, and then I learned about the group Art of Shy, and they were all photographers in Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago. I should have mentioned that before.
Oh, wow.
Born and raised in Chicago. I'm in LA now. But yeah, so started off in Chicago, and then those 5 photographers, we went out to lunch afterwards because we were all starving, and I was getting to know them. And this is what I like to do with my photographers and everyone I shoot with. I try to get to know them, and I try to become friends with them and connect with them so that you know, like, I love meeting new people and I love making new friends. So it's such a nice feeling to connect with someone and also work on a project with someone like that. Like, when you're connecting, it feels
the frequency has to be right.
Yes, it feels better when you connect and you're getting to know each other while shooting. And that makes me more comfortable during a shoot.
Yeah, especially as a woman.
Yes, absolutely. So those 5 photographers started posting my photos on their own pages, and then that's when everything started. Everyone in that community saw their photos of me and started hitting me up to do shoots. So every single week I was doing at least like 3 shoots a week on top of my school.
Wow.
Yeah, I would get out and shoot with anyone and everyone I could.
I love that. And I think that's a very grand way to get into this, if you will, industry or realm. But with that, I'm sure that opened your mind in such a way, like, okay, like, even though like I'm new on the block, I can really do this if I want to pursue this?
Definitely. It definitely built up my confidence because people were coming to me and they were asking me to model for them, which meant that they liked my look and they liked how I was modeling and they liked how I moved and they liked my style, So, I mean, every shoot back then was a creative shoot.
Yeah. And naturally you're creative. And I want to ask you this. Now that it seems like to me you're full throttle with modeling because you have done photography and you're a content creator as well. Now that you're full on in the sense of pursuing your passion of modeling, what are you looking to do to leverage your contacts that you've already created to ensure that you see growth over this year?
Yeah, definitely. So I am, like you said, I am getting into modeling, trying to get into modeling professionally now. I've just submitted my comp cards to a friend who's helping me submit to agencies and getting me jobs and stuff.
That's great.
And so, yeah, like a part of me is still kind of scared of the rejection, but that comes with like everything, right? Right. I just have to remember to be confident in myself. And I am what they call a petite model in every way, in my size, in my weight, in my height. I'm 4'11". It's like way outside the typical model. Like when you think of a model, people usually think of fashion model, right? And they think of 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", 6 foot. I don't know. But
yeah.
So they think of super tall people, and I still kind of hesitate to tell people what I like doing. To tell people that I model, because they'll just kind of look at me and, like they see my height, and I'm here to show everyone that my height does not define me. And
it doesn't.
Like I've done so many different projects where my height was not involved and they've come out great, and a lot of people still want to work with me. And I want to be that inspiration for girls my height or as small as me, because there's a lot of people that are my height and they just limit themselves because they think they can't do it because of some standards that our society has, and I don't like that. I don't like that society tells you what standards you have to fit into in order for you to do something you like, in order to do something you're passionate about,
right.
Because that's not fair, because that's just how you were born as, and who cares? Like, if you like something, if you're good at something, if you're passionate about something, go for it. Because basically God or whoever you believe in put that passion in you to pursue it and to go do it.
I agree with you fully. And I mean, that's how we're sitting here today. I started this podcast with the notion of looking to inspire anybody that wants to chase their dream, whether it's a content creator, an artist, a photographer, a model, a person in sales. It doesn't matter, really. It just matters of believing in yourself and ultimately finding your community of people that will help uplift you for the times that, you lose a little belief, because naturally we do. And, luckily for all the connections you have aside to me, I can help you get connected with other women as well in a safe space where you can talk and where you can meet and where you can understand how to leverage your comp cards more and more control on your end. Because
definitely. I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate all my connections, you know, and I have so many connections that I've built over the years, and your question was how I would leverage that. And
Right.
I know that all my connections and everyone who I've met through this creative process is working on something, and they are growing within themselves, and they are growing independently, and they are growing and focusing on what they're doing, which is photography, or it could be another modeling, it could be directing, it could be videographer, just anything that they're doing. I know that they're focusing on themselves, and it's nice when we get to come together and create together and help each other build.
Yeah, I mean, for all you guys that are going through it, because I feel like everybody's at a war with their own mind right now, just do whatever it is for you to create, whether it's writing, singing, whatever it may be, because when you find yourself in creativity, you can lose a bit of what you're going through and just ultimately put yourself in there. So just all you guys that are listening, thank you. Continue to create. And for you, Hannah, back to you. Please tell me about like your new recent marketing tactics and what you feel like you may be struggling with right now on all of your different social platforms.
Absolutely. So my marketing tactic is just to post and just to get out there, no matter how down I'm feeling, no matter if I'm feeling just blah, right?
Right.
Because a lot of, some days most days recently, I've just been feeling like that. It's been hard to create, probably because of the rain right here in California.
Right.
But yeah, like some days it's hard to get that inspiration and just put on my makeup and put on my outfits and even choose the clothes, this past weekend I had a shoot, and it's been a while since I've shot with these friends of mine, and they just got a new video camera, so they were like, let's test it out, let's do this whole day shoot, right? And they were like, pick out some outfits that you like, we only need 3, and come over. And I was like, oh my goodness, I do not feel great, but I'm going to try, because there's people who are around me to push me, and to get me out of the house. Uplift me. And I picked out 12 outfits, and I brought my carry-on because I couldn't carry it down to my car. I had to put everything in my carry-on, and my shoes, of course, went in another bag as well. So yeah, it was so fun. But yeah, just to have people, I guess when I get on my social media, I see my friends creating, and I see my friends messaging me and giving me, like, we always send each other videos and inspirations, or we send each other like ideas for our next shoots, and that's how we both create, and there's specific photographers for specific styles, and all my friends have different styles and how they shoot and stuff, so everyone's giving me specific inspos and they're like, let's go shoot this, let's go do this, and it's hard not to go along with it, and it's hard not to say yes, because I guess they just make me excited to go out and do it. And yeah, so basically just to be present. Also with my stories too, I like to make people feel like I'm their friends, like I'm their friend, even though they don't know me in person. There are a ton of people who has followed me from my who have followed me from the beginning of my modeling journey, and I've never ever met them. And there are some people who I've met along the way after they followed me and after a long while of not meeting, and we will have meetups sometime where people are just come and they shoot different models, and they'll call me to be models there. And so when photographers come, and I remember this one time in Chicago, there was a super big meetup, and all the photographers were going, and I posted on my story. I was like, thank you for choosing me to be one of your models, but I'm going to be a little late because I have my final, because I was still in school.
Right.
I just posted that on my story, and I was like, I have my final, you guys. I won't be there until like halfway through, and I'll meet you guys there. I'll see you guys all there. And then I show up after my final, like feeling great, like just going to the meetup. I was so excited to have something to do afterwards because I felt so drained. But when I went, the photographers that were there, like, I didn't even know a lot of them, and they were like, oh, how was your final? Like, how did your final go? And they were treating me like they already knew me because of how I post on my stories and how I interact with people on my Instagram and how I treat people, even online and offline.
Yeah, and it sounds like there was a genuine curiosity and care there when they were asking.
Yes, and that's what I was surprised about, I think, because I was like, wow, like, I barely know this person, and they're asking me how my final went. Like, that's so sweet.
Yeah, and I feel like not only because they genuinely cared, but also it's like, naturally after a final we feel stressed, right? Mm-hmm, it's like, let's help get you back in the right frequency, which plugs me into what I want to say next. What helps you? I'm actually really curious at this point, because it's easy as a content creator to fall into the consumption of creating,
yes,
as opposed to producing and creating on our own. So what do you do to keep you in that right mental to continue to create?
I think that I'm always thinking of Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, what helps you stay in the right frequency to create and not avoid the judgment, but to let go of the judgment and just keep going no matter what?
I think just the positivity and just the community that I've surrounded myself with is really good for my mental health, because everyone on my socials, at least, are so uplifting and so helpful and so kind. And I guess that's also a thing, like, you get what you give, right? And I've always treated people like I've treated every single person who's messaged me, who's hit me up, who's tagged me in their photos with kindness. And I think that's a really big thing that people that people overlook, that could really get you a long way. Because if you're kind to everyone, they will treat you very nice, and they will create this positive environment around you where they want to reciprocate what you gave them.
Absolutely.
So definitely the community that I'm surrounded by, and just talking to people, and just new trends I see, and just my own mind, I guess. I don't know. I've just come up with really crazy things. That's just how my mind works. I always think, what if this? What if that? I also watch a lot of true crime, but that doesn't
true crime.
get into I just think of all these scenarios, and my mind is really creative and imaginative, and I just feel like I'm that kind of person, and I want to exude that in my brand and into who I am.
Okay. With your brand, I mean, if you guys check her out, I'm going to say Sintastic. I don't know how to say it. Is that
it is.
Okay, cool.
Funny story with that.
We'll plug that story maybe later if we have enough time. But you have this unique fashion with, you know, the way you dress in your shoots. It's not just like on some seductive, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like there's a unique side to it. Can you tell me a little bit where you find your inspo for that?
Yeah, definitely. I think I start with what I have in my closet.
Right.
Let me tell you, I'm not the kind of girl that goes shopping like every time I have a shoot, right? I would be so broke. But there are themes, like if a photographer wants to shoot with me, we'll sketch it out. We'll sketch out the location first. So I think location, and then I think of the colors that I want to wear, and then I think about what I have in my closet already. And then comfortability is, I think, the biggest thing, because when I'm comfortable, I'm confident. Right. And that confidence, you can see that in my photos, and you can see that in my work. And I think that's what my photographers like about working with me, is my ability to just get out there and be versatile with my poses, and be versatile in doing different poses or different moves, and trying out new things that they would like me to do, you know, and they're not afraid to ask me to do things, because if they know that I'm comfortable and I'm confident, you know, they have faith in me that I can do it, and they're not afraid to ask.
Are you journaling, or what do you do? Because I mean, for me, like I build my confidence through journaling. I have my own, like you talk to yourself, that positive self-talk, but
yeah.
What else are you doing? Because it's amazing. It's not easy to be a model.
Well, okay, so this is kind of embarrassing.
No, it's not.
So, no, I don't journal because I feel like I don't have enough time in the day with my jobs and with everything that I want to do. So I talk to myself and I talk to myself in the mirror. So I think before every shoot, I'll put on my outfit. I'll look in the mirror. I'll think about poses that make me look good. I feel like when I can see myself, sorry, let me rephrase that.
It's okay.
So I'll put on my outfit and I'll look in the mirror and I'll do some poses that I feel like I look good doing. And most of my photographers would agree, because I did start out with photography. I feel like I know what looks good with myself, you know? And so for me to know what kind of poses make me look good and what angles make me look good, then I can navigate myself in my head when I'm actually at the shoot and I'm with the photographer in front of the camera where I don't have a mirror. So I feel way better after I practice in the mirror and then go to my shoot.
Yeah, I don't think that's stupid at all. I think that's actually a key trait to have in a model, because you already know you need to know what you're going to look like in cells, whatever. It's a different correlation, but I have to practice with myself in the mirror. I have to practice with myself all the time to be able to be in that kind of notion of success, or be able to even attain success in that realm. So I don't think it's stupid at all. I mean, you thinking that it's stupid is just because it's like, maybe it's not what other people do, but everybody has their own process. And I still think other models do that as well.
I guess so. I guess you're right. I guess I think I just said that because I'm over here at work at my desk, like looking in my little mirror and just like thinking about poses that I'm gonna do.
But that's what you're passionate about.
And then someone will walk past my door. Like, oops. But yeah.
I think that's cool because that's what you're ultimately passionate about. And if you're passionate about it, it's constantly going to be in the back of your mind with your day job, with whatever you're doing throughout the day. So that's...
Oh, definitely. Like, you're so excited for it all the time. Like, I am.
Yeah, so keep that excitement, keep that growth. What are some milestones, or what I call it is, I don't call milestones goals. That's not really what I call it. It's what is your reality for this year that you would like to hit? And you can share whatever you like, and you can also not share whatever you like, whatever you'd like.
Absolutely. I think what I've been avoiding because I haven't been at my peak confidence is to say, first of all, that I want to get accepted into an agency, or I want to get more modeling jobs, like professional modeling jobs, you know? And I've done those. I've gone to modeling jobs through my photographers and through my connections that I know. I've done paid jobs. I've done all sorts of jobs. And so those are super fun. It's super fun to get paid for what you're passionate about, you know, and I think I just want to monetize my modeling skills more. And I feel like because of the society standards and just the way that everyone looks at me when I say I'm a model, I guess, has been preventing me from actually pursuing it seriously. But who cares, right?
That's why
it's now or never.
It's now or never, and the time is now. And one thing I will suggest to you, because all I could ever make is suggestions, is writing down what you want, because this ultimately cuts out all of the outer noise. And I know your time is like very strained right now, but if you do this, I think it's going to take you to the next level of confidence and the next level of achievement.
Oh my gosh, that's such good advice. No, I totally understand that. But, you're totally right. Like, I 100% agree with you. For me to get to this moment where I'm saying this on your podcast and I'm saying like, oh, I've submitted my comp cards. I've, gone to this guy who's going to help me submit to agencies and stuff. I got here because I started writing down the little steps in my agenda, actually in my work agenda. Because I was like, okay, I have this shoot. I have to get my nails done. I have to do this. And I started writing down like the little steps. I have to schedule this shoot. I have to email this guy. I have to email this person. I have to email that person. And I have to get my comp cards. I wrote down comp card shoot. And that's how it just snowballed. Because that was like an official thing that I had to do in my planner. I had to check it off.
And see, I think it's like, why I know that you know this is because you are very organized and you're good at getting all these tasks done. And if you apply that same energy towards yourself, I can assure you you're going to take off faster than you could have ever imagined, especially with your positive affirmations in the sense of the positive what ifs that you're already doing on a day-to-day basis. So I think it's really going to help you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
That's what I do. I inspire, I motivate, and I listen. So for my next question, this is like, if you guys are still tuned in, we love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. What is the ultimate impact that you're looking to create in this industry?
The ultimate impact is for people like me to become confident in their passion for modeling, like I am. I'm so passionate in this, and it gives me so much joy, and I have so much fun doing it. And starting out as a photographer and being a model, like I know both sides of the camera and I know which side I want to be on. And so I feel like I was prevented and I was held back by society for the longest time. And it just, for people who don't have the connections that I have, for people that don't pursue this type of their passion, you know, for people who don't even know that this is their passion, you know, what if this is your passion and you don't know it because you've never thought about it, you've never dreamt about being here, and you've never dreamt about becoming a model. It's just kind of sad. It's kind of heartbreaking to think that people would just let go of their passions because of what society has been telling them their whole life. And society has been telling me my whole life that I'm short, that I'm too tan, that I'm too this, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not tall enough, you know, like I don't look like this, I don't have the best facial structure, I don't know.
Yeah, like, oh, your face is not symmetrical, blah, blah, blah. Like, all that stuff doesn't matter. It matters what's in your heart, ultimately. And that's the hardest thing to learn as individuals with all the distractions we have.
Yes, so many distractions.
So if you guys get anything from this pod, believe in yourself, and it takes time. Go for it. Go for it.
And invest in your passion.
Invest in your passion. I'm going to ask you a tougher question now. And it's a question that, don't worry, everybody has to go through. Tell me 3 things that you can promise yourself, and then promise me that you will work on this week that you know you're lacking in, because we all know what we could be doing better. All right.
I know one thing for sure.
Okay.
Off the top of my head. I'm gonna work out more. Gotcha. I'm definitely gonna work out, because I feel like I've just been saying to myself, like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I don't have enough time in my day, which is like, if you make time, you have time. Right. You know, and I know you're gonna say that because that's just you. So I'm definitely going to make time to work out and prioritize that more, because when I work out, I feel just better, and I haven't been allowing myself to feel better, for sure. The second thing, I'm going to stop being so negative. I feel like whenever I go into work, I have something to complain about. When I'm talking to my friends, they're like, how's your day? What's wrong? I guess that's like the first question that they would ask, because they just see it in my face, I guess. And like this, I'm not always like this. It's just been recently. So that's what I need to, like, talking with you about my passion and my, just how I got here. This makes me happy. And so, you know, like, I need to remember to be more positive and stop being so negative all the time, and just be grateful for life, and just be grateful for all the things that I have. And
I'm very happy for you in this moment. I'm glad that you're feeling this way, because that brings me happiness.
No, it absolutely, like, and part of it has to do with talking to you. And ever since I've met you, you've been a light in my life, you know, and you've always helped me. You've always motivated me, first of all. You're very inspirational. You're always pushing me when you see me. So I thank you for that. And
that's love. It's reciprocated, and I really appreciate that. It's like, if you would see her and the way she navigates through the office, she leads with so much, like, I was nervous as heck being in there, because I was like, who is everybody here, blah, blah, blah. And like, you make people feel welcome and make people feel good with your kindness, but make people feel calm more naturally with how you approach people, and how you ultimately, like, make people laugh and smile when they're like, you can see, like, when, like, for me, sometimes I was like, off. He'd be like, hey, like, let's go do this. Like, or you want coffee? Like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing next? And like, it's reciprocated. So absolutely. And I really appreciate those kind words. It resonated a lot.
Of course. You need to know that about yourself.
Thank you.
Just like you tell everyone else how their good qualities affect you. Like, I want you to know that you have the best qualities.
Thank you. I'm really speechless. I'm a podcaster, but right now I can't come up with words to come up with. You owe me one more thing.
I was hoping to get out of that.
The third one always puts people like uneasy. So
like, why?
I need the third one. I live by a rule of 3.
Now I gotta come up with something I'm bad at. Like,
no, it's just taking accountability. It's not something you're bad at. Something even you feel like you can be working on. Like for me, I need to practice more patience. For me, I need to be willing to allow more constructive criticism. And for me, I need to not scratch myself when I get stressed out.
Scratch yourself.
Yeah, I scratch myself sometimes.
I guess I do that too, but like a little less than you, I'm imagining.
Yeah, a little less for sure.
Okay, so I feel like the third thing I think is to pour into other people. Like, I want them to pour into me. Okay. And you know how I described my day and I'm so tired. I barely have time to go to the gym. And I'm going to do that. But I'm also going to pour into my friends and rebuild my relationship with my friends. And that's what I've been focusing on for the last 6 months, because I feel like my friends are all over the nation and it's pretty hard to get on the same schedule, to schedule FaceTimes, to FaceTime all the way for every single call. Right? If you can't FaceTime, we're not talking.
It's not the same, yeah.
So definitely, like, I know they want to hear more from me, and I definitely want to hear more from them. So it's just nice to have these friendships, and I have friendships where I've known people for like 10 years now, and every time we talk, we just pick up on where we left off, and nothing's really changed, and I love that feeling. So I know it'll definitely fill me up. And yeah, I'm just making more of an effort to not be a shellfish. Just be in my shell all day.
Yeah, that's something we all struggle with. But again, like, we take accountability and then we work on it. And remember, give yourself some grace. Your friends understand that you're busy just because as they are busy. And
definitely.
You know, send them an audio message. Send them, like, if you got FaceTime that day, just send them a random audio message. Hey, you know what? I love you. I miss you. And like, that's one way they can fill your energy without you having to get on a call with them or you get on that scheduled call, because sometimes you get pushed forward, backward, blah, blah, blah. So
yes, absolutely.
That's cool. I love that. So for any of you guys that are listening, pour into your friends. Remind your friends you love them. Remind them how much they mean to you, because you know. You never
know, you know? Like, the world these days, it's insane.
Nothing is promised. So just
nothing is promised.
Make the promises to yourself and just go after it.
I agree.
If there's one more thing I can ask you.
Okay.
Because at this point, I'm really curious.
I mean, go for it.
Cool. What is, like, something you live by and will tell yourself in the morning that you don't even realize that you have just been doing for a while now?
That I don't even have to tell myself?
Or that you tell yourself, or you don't even have to tell yourself. It's just something that, like, is implemented now for, like, the past month or past couple months, or
for my whole life.
Whole life too. Yeah, for sure.
I think be kind to everyone that I encounter. Just be kind. You never know what someone is going through. You never know what how they got to where they are to be encountering you at that time, if you're frustrated and if you're upset and if you're going through things that if you're going through rough things yourself, who's to say that someone else isn't going through the same exact things, there are so many people in this world, and you never know who you're going to encounter that is going to be so useful to you and be such a good connection, and useful as in like not you using them, useful as in like maybe they'll become your best friend, you never know. You just never know. So I say be kind to everyone, even if they're not kind to you, just turn the other cheek. It's always better to be kind and be the bigger person and have no blame on your side, so that whenever you look back at the situation, whenever something comes up, you're at no fault because you've treated everyone the best that you can treat them. And two, you don't have anything to feel guilty about. I feel really bad when I snap at someone or when I'm just frustrated or impatient with someone. And I catch myself because that's something I live by, just be kind to everyone. And I catch myself and I'm like, okay, like, how are you? I have to ask. They're acting this way because of a reason. They're frustrated because of a reason. They're frustrated at you because of some reason. They're an asshole because of something they're going through. They're projecting on you for what they're going through. They're mistreating you because they've been mistreated. They're treating you badly because someone told them that it was okay to treat you badly. You never know what the situation may be or what they might have gone through. You just never know. And it's always the best option to be kind.
I couldn't agree more. Lead with kindness, show love, and even if people don't like you, show them love.
Absolutely.
Pray for them and
pray
keep
for
it moving.
them. Keep it moving.
Office of the Day with Hanna Sint. All the information down below. Thank you for all your insight, and we hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you so much.